Today, we're interviewing Lila Mokhtari, the founder and CEO of the purpose-driven soap brand Maji. Lila is an entrepreneur and TEDx speaker who created a company focused on making hygiene fun for kids by placing small toys inside these eco-friendly soap bars while supporting global clean water initiatives. She shares her story about how the simple idea turned into a growing social impact business, which led her to win second place globally in the Blue Ocean Entrepreneurship Competition. In this conversation, we dive into how she built Maji from the ground up. Lila also shares practical advice for students who want to start something of their own while still in high school, as she'll be attending Cornell later this year. So just start by telling me a little bit about yourself, like where you go to school, where you're from, and then like what you like to do in your free time.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lila Mokhtari. I live in Manhattan Beach, California, and I go to Miracosta High School. And I started a soap brand called Maji, which means water in Swahili, but it's a motivational soap brand where I embed collectible toys inside of bar soaps to encourage kids to wash their hands. And I love selling that in my free time. It takes up like a big portion of my life, but I also love to hang out at the beach with my friends. That's a big thing here. And really do any kind of sports like skiing, surfing, all of that. It's so much fun to me.
Oh, that's cool. I've tried surfing before, but it's never really worked out for me.
I know, I'm not that great at it. I just think it's fun.
Yeah, no, it looks really cool. So you mentioned Maji, your business. Tell me how you started that and like what drew your inspiration for that.
I started it my freshman year of high school. I'm a senior now, but I started it through an entrepreneurship program called YEA, which is the Young Entrepreneurs Academy, and they were holding that at my Chamber of Commerce. So it came out pretty naturally from there because I've always had the idea. When I was little, my sister always forgot to wash her hands. Like, that was a big thing in my house. Like, my parents were always pressuring her to remember hygiene, but at the same time, she loved collectible toys and specifically Shopkins. So one time I got an art kit in the mail where it taught me how to make soaps. So I melted down some glycerin for my first batch and I put one of her collectible toys inside, and just seeing that toy as a constant reminder for why she should be washing her hands made hand washing fun for her. So I made a few more and different methods in my freshman year, and eventually I came out with a prototype that I liked, and I developed it through the Entrepreneurship Academy.
Cool, that's so exciting. I know a lot of high schoolers do like entrepreneurship academies like that, so that's really cool that like it came to life after that. How did you grow your business like from the idea you built a prototype, but now that obviously like you've sold like however many you've sold and it's doing great, how did you develop that?
So there was a lot of support that came from the program I did. After I won their competition, they gave me money to invest in my brand. So I started out with that. It was about $6,000, and I used about 1,000 of it by materials for my soaps and materials to create booths because that was the main place that I sold my soaps at flea markets and community events. So I really invested a lot of time into developing my brand and really making like a strong persona of it so people could remember it, and then bringing it to market by going to flea markets and really like being out there like representing my soap brand, and that helped people better understand the story because they could see me in front of them and I was pitching it to them, and that like exposure is really what led to a lot of sales.
Cool. And so I was like looking on your LinkedIn and like you're super passionate about sustainability and like business ethics and stuff. Could you talk more about that and your impact with, I think, Thirst Project?
Yeah, so I personally believe every business should be purpose driven, and a purpose driven business is one that has an external mission outside of just making money. So, specifically, my brand is trying to engage more people into hygiene. My brand, I'm trying to engage more specifically kids into hygiene. So by doing that, I partnered with the Thirst Project to better implement my goal. And they are building clean water wells all over the world. So clean water is one of the main vehicles of hygiene and one of the main reasons why kids can't be clean and can't have sanitation. So every bar donates 5% of sales to the Thirst Project to greater implement this mission beyond the consumers who are actually buying the product. So I'm really passionate about trying to get more businesses to realize their mission in different ways.
Cool. Yeah, that's super interesting. You've had so much like business experience with Maji and partnering with like the Thirst Project. How and what would you say the most like important characteristics of a business owner is, and how do you put yourself out there to gain more business exposure?
I think one of the most important characteristics is passion, because if you don't like what you're doing, you won't be motivated to continue to do it. Because as an entrepreneur, no one else is your boss, so no one else will tell you what to do. So as long as you have this like strong will to complete things and to better learn how to become a better business owner, then that'll really benefit you in the long run. And what was the second part of your question?
I think I was just like, what have you done that has like made you get yourself out there and like, because I feel like not only me, but a lot of people just struggle with like getting themselves out there, getting that like business experience to know that they're interested in like a field like that. How did you do that with your own business and like other opportunities?
It's super important to just like apply to as many things as you can in high school. That's kind of what I did. Like I did not know at all what I was interested in when I was a freshman, so I really just applied to a bunch of different things. I applied to like a USC film program so I could figure out if I liked film. I applied to the Young Entrepreneurs Academy to see if I liked business. I applied to be on a health council to see if I would be interested in going into medicine. And the ones that stuck with me were the ones that I really like was best at, even though I was interested in all three of those. I felt like I was best at business, so then I followed it through that program. And as you continue to like apply to things, everything's really one thing to another. So once you have the initial experience of going through a learning program, that's one of the best ways to gain business experience. And then after you have that behind you, it's a great thing to either put on a resume if you're trying to apply for more business related activities, or if you don't have that, then I would just say to learn as many things as you can just by researching, because there's always going to be some kind of internship out there or some kind of advisory board or competition that you can enter. And if you can't do any of that, then just start. I think just if you have this idea, just take the first steps, like buy the jewelry kit from Amazon, go out there, make like a stand on the side of the road. Anything like that will give you more experience just by talking to people and continuing to pitch to them your idea.
Cool. So just really like getting yourself out there, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And for like these small business owners, like people who are just starting their businesses, I know you mentioned this a little bit, but just buying the kits like that you need to get started, because like as a business owner myself, I was pretty nervous on starting a business, saying that I didn't have enough time and like I guess making excuses because I was scared to actually get myself out there. how did you do that with Maji? You mentioned how you just went to like local fairs and started selling there. Is that what you did?
Yeah, that was like the main way that I sold things, but for the like initial confidence to start the business, I wasn't that confident at the beginning. But by like winning the first few competitions that I won, it really gave me a lot of like confidence that my brand would work. And I know that's not really feasible for someone who just has an idea to like enter it into a competition. So I guess like in other ways that I was confident about it is because I had really like thought through kind of every aspect of my business, and I had this very, very direct story. Like the one that I told you about my sister and how it connects to the Thirst Project. And there's so many different ways I haven't even mentioned yet, like how all the toys are upcycled and how all the ingredients are organic and healthy for kids' skin. Everything points back to this narrative that this is a good and ethical brand. So as long as you can communicate that to people and really believe it in yourself that your brand is something unique and something that everyone should buy, then it will definitely give you a lot more confidence when pitching people, because that can be very scary. And it's just so hard.
But I think that honestly, like I think that really improves on your not only your public speaking skills, but just like how to articulate when you're asked on the spot questions too, because that was really hard for me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think just like continuing to like put yourself out there is the hardest part, but once you do, it's a lot easier. So I feel like the hardest part is just getting past the learning curve and doing it.
I agree. So one last thing, but the last thing, so obviously you're a senior now. You've like gone through the high school experience. Reflecting back on high school, what would you say the like biggest piece of advice that you would give for any high schooler that's like interested in business or wants to go down that path?
Um, I think if you're interested in business, you should really just focus on doing what you're good at. Don't get sidetracked by random things that your friends might be applying to, or don't lose focus in what you really believe, because your story is so different from everybody else's, especially while applying to college, because there's lots of pressure from either your friends or family to do as many things as possible. But if you really just zero in on your one story, the one thing that you are best at, then that will give you great outcomes. Like, for example, I really focused in on purpose-driven business, which is like a very like niche version of business, but I knew that I was very passionate about it. So I really like attacked that topic from like so many different ways, and that was both exciting for me, and it came out with great outcomes through the way that I could just focus in on business, and that helped me a lot. Just really like limiting the things that I was worried about, because then I could focus and get great at my one thing. And I guess just in general in high school, don't like bombard yourself with too many things to do. For example, if there's too many classes and you're starting to get really overwhelmed, don't take that extra class. Like, it's never going to make that big of a difference, and it's always way more important to like prioritize your mental health.
Oh yeah, that's great advice. I totally agree. I think a lot of people just they're like, "Oh my gosh, I need to take 5 APs this year because taking four, everyone's taking five, but that one AP class is not gonna make or break your college application."
Definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And do you know, like, just curious, do you know where you're going to college this year since you're a senior?
Yeah, I early decision to Cornell and I got in.
Wow! Oh my gosh! Congratulations! Go check out Maji on their website. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you learned some important lessons and see you next time.